and welcome to Racco's Forum. Today we're going to have an interesting discussion with a number of members of the community where we're going to speak about art and culture in Vaughan, in the region of York, but also business, so that we can blend art and culture with business and make our city, our region, a better place. And I want to start with Veronica, who is the youngest of the team here today. Veronica, what inspires and drives you to champion art and culture in the city of Vaughan?
So for me, it's my undenying need to find a place called home. And I've been living in Vaughan for about 16 years, and being a creative mind, I know that there's a need for it in the city. And within the past 3 years, I have been just researching about different culture and arts initiatives, such as Culture Days, such as Vaughan Art Hero that we just had. So I'm also really interested in activating heritage home spaces within the Vaughan region, because what people don't know is that Vaughan is actually a really beautiful space, and people my age usually go to Toronto to, have arts and culture experiences. Your
commitment to the city has been rewarded, I understand.
Yeah. It has. So I've actually been awarded the Youth Arts Ambassador representing Vaughan amongst 5 others within Ontario region. So that's activation within Culture Days. That is also in partnership with Mirella.
And Mirella, you are organizing a number of activities.
Yes, so part of the activations that we're working on with the city in the Economic Development and Culture Department is looking at activations in very new and unusual spaces as well as business spaces, and Veronica falls really well in that catchment. She's been doing a lot of activations in some of the spaces that people wouldn't expect to find some arts and crafts and performances, and in particular we started partnering with Veronica with her group called I Am. It's an intergenerational arts collective, and just as a little add-on, she's an arts ambassador, but she's also representing the entire York region area. So she was awarded ambassador, coming from, she's an artist in residence in Vaughan, but she is representing the entire region. So she's one of 5 in Ontario.
Wonderful. Yeah. But this year, Veronica, I think Rachel, who is working with Michael, there is a major event happening.
Absolutely.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, we're excited to announce that the McMichael will be celebrating our 50th anniversary. And in order to activate the community and to engage the community, we're offering a weekend free for all. We want to celebrate the 50th with our new programming, including our exhibition 50-50-50, which highlights artists including A.Y. Jackson, Tom Thompson, Jack Bush, and Colleen Heslin.
A couple nights ago, I saw in the news that there was a major painting sold for much more than expected. I guess Michael must be doing very well.
McMichael is doing very well, but we do want our members and guests to come out and visit. We have a lot of new stuff, new exhibitions on display, and to supplement the exhibitions, we have amazing programming, including that weekend on the 9th and 10th, where we invite families to come out and participate in art battles, a non-plein air competition, as well as tours and other initiatives.
The 9th and 10th of June? Or?
Yeah.
So it's coming.
Of July.
July.
Yes,
In the month of July, that's when all this celebration will take place.
Absolutely.
Mirella, the city is much involved, of course. What else are you doing to make sure that everybody's aware of such an important event?
Well, it's a really great time right now in Vaughan, because Vaughan is also celebrating the 25th anniversary as a city. So there's a lot of really good celebrations where we get to partner together and sort of support what's going on in the city and work together in providing the awareness to the community. With that, we have our new Culture Days ambassador, who's going to be sort of featured in our upcoming Culture Days activations this fall in the end of September and beginning of October. And we're going to be looking at those activations and at another exciting space in Vaughan, in the new Vaughan Metropolitan Center, which we call the VMC. So Veronica is going to be there, and she's going to be bringing a lot more sort of unique participatory sort of events and experiences for the community.
Now, I understand there will be some art exhibition also at City Hall.
Right. We have our gallery at City Hall called On the Slate.
And it's always
Always. It's always programmed throughout the year. We have an amazing lineup of artists that are both local and international and national artists. And it's a combination of mixed media. We can have photography, paintings, but we also do a lot of call-outs for artists and giving them opportunities to get involved in becoming part of the show. Yeah, part of the show.
And of course, Veronica, you are helping the city achieving all that, or?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, there's just so much more opportunities now than there were before. So just like, especially with Marella and the Culture Days is like really happening as well.
And with Rachel's promotion in July, that should really make the city of Vaughan and the region of New York.
I think so. It's an exciting time for Vaughan and especially the McMichael. Our programming is fresh and new. We're excited to announce that we'll be open on Thursday nights until 10 p.m. from July 1st. Till the October 31st.
And once you're in Kleinburg, don't forget to go where the coffee shops and restaurants are.
Go into town, visit
mix
the businesses.
art with business.
Absolutely, yeah. We work closely with the businesses in Kleinburg, and part of the competition, the en plein air competition, is to go into town, paint in town, as members of the group of 7 did. So
wonderful. And have you spoken to your friends to make sure more of them gets involved with the younger?
I'm always on the lookout for new artists, especially in Vaughan.
New ambassadors.
As ambassadors, future ambassadors, yes, possibly. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much talent in Vaughan that we could actually extract instead of them always having to go to Toronto. So I'm really excited for this year's Culture Days. I feel like it'll be a really good opportunity for all artists in Vaughan.
Yeah. Mirella, in Vaughan, where would you suggest is maybe the hottest spot for arts? Is there one that we can identify as being the hottest spot?
As a hottest spot for art or
arts.
art?
Any type of art.
You know what? I wouldn't be able to say that there's one particular spot. I mean, our focus will be in the VMC, which is going to be
Jane and 7, in case somebody is not clear.
Right, so yeah, Weston Road for Highway 7 and Weston Road all the way to Jane Street. But there is going to be multiple things happening there that are upcoming, where you'll see continual activations that'll keep increasing throughout the year to come.
Terrific. Well, let me say that it was wonderful to be updated on what's happening in Vaughan, and I want to say thank you to Veronica, to Mirella, and Rachel. There will be others speaking on this topic, but thank you, and don't forget that Jane and 7 is where most of future activity will take place. We will be back with Racco's Forum to continue this important discussion. Thank you. Welcome back to Racco's Forum, our third section of this very interesting topic. I will have three additional guests, Michael, Anna, and Samantha, who will be answering some of the important questions that people want to hear. And I'll start with Michael. Michael, how does art and culture contribute to the growth of the city of Vaughan business community?
Well, it's really about creating a sense of place and the environment that's conducive to attracting arts and culture in Vaughan. I think a lot of cities across Canada, and specifically Vaughan, are seeing the opportunity that presents itself when you have that capacity of arts and culture in your community, and how you can leverage it to support economic development. And places that people want to live in are also the places that businesses want to locate in. So, we see a specific opportunity for our new downtown that we were mentioning before, the Vaughan Metropolitan Centre, to use that kind of as the platform to launch our arts and culture agenda throughout the city.
And we can see the downtown Vaughan is wonderful. It has to be built yet, but it's there. But what do you do specifically, or the city does specifically to help, so people will know? Yeah,
so we have an ambitious goal of attracting about 25,000 residents and close to 12,000 businesses to our new downtown. So, to achieve those goals, we really see the need for visionary leadership. So, one of the things we've launched recently is a cultural framework and public art policy, which really sets the strategic directions and vision, like I mentioned, to provide that base level policy that we need to attract those kinds of uses to the city of Vaughan.
Well, McMichael is a major asset, not just to Vaughan, but to Canada. What is Michael doing, working with the city of Vaughan to support art and culture?
Well, definitely we are a very important player in the plan that City of Vaughan has around arts. We are the world-class collection. So we do have, of course, the we are working almost as a magnet for tourism, and definitely we are supporting the tourist industry. We did have a quite extensive support from central counties throughout the years for a lot of programming that we do, as well as the events that we are organizing at the McMichael. But of course, the major efforts goes into the artists. We are supporting artists. We are supporting Canadian artists, including York Region artists, and we consider the McMichael as a site where all those actions, all those people, they come together, not only the public, but also the artists, a living art space. And I have actually quite a good record working with Samantha on the McMichael Art Mentorship Project, when we offer an opportunity for young artists to come and not only to interact with the site, because part of what it makes McMichael so different to any art gallery is that we have the site, and the site is connecting us to Vaughan as well. So we are offering the site for the interaction.
And of course, York Region Art Council is working with the McMichael. And what is that you're doing to connect the culture community with the business community from your end?
So one of the interesting things about the York Region Arts Council is that we're not necessarily bound by specific place. So we operate with community partners such as the City of Vaughan and the McMichael Canadian Art Collection to really activate these spaces with our artist members, specifically through programming. So that type of programming is mostly business for the arts related, because our intention is to equip local artists with the business skills to be successful creative entrepreneurs, which will contribute to the placemaking that Michael was talking about.
Our region and the city is becoming much more touristic oriented. Of course, arts is one of the most important part of attracting the attention of anyone coming to the GTA. What are you doing in that area?
Absolutely. Well, we actually manage York Region's tourism portfolio in addition to the professional development arts programming, and that's mainly through our website, yorkscene.com, which is everything there is to see and do, predominantly from an arts and culture standpoint, and also beyond that. And that's available to York Region residents, visitors, friends and family, and beyond that. And we also partner with Central Counties Tourism to get the message outside of York Region, to bring people into the regional area.
We said earlier, and we showed a number of pictures about the VMC, the Vaughan Metropolitan Center. This is going to be a major point for future art, for interaction, for retailing, and people living, people working. What's happening? Are we planning anything at this time to make sure that that is going to be as vibrant as it is possible?
Absolutely, yeah. We, I mentioned before our cultural framework and public art strategy, and really we're using the Vaughan Metropolitan Center as a center point for that study. So, you know, we're looking at ways to activate public spaces so that people, so it's not just a bunch of buildings and roads. It's actually a space that people want to spend time in and can feel, you know, encouraged and enjoy their
by the way,
surroundings.
there's an incredible amount of space. If you look at the AMC, the former AMC building, there is an incredible amount of space right in front of it with a number of restaurants and other material. It's a wonderful place for people from all over the region, not just Vaughan, but from the GTA to get together and show the arts that we have.
Yeah, and we're working on some ideas now to kind of inject some culture into that area right now for some early quick wins as the whole greater area develops. Right now, it's, you know, a lot of it's under construction, so we're finding creative ways in some of the sites you mentioned to hold you know, activations that can kind of create some awareness about what we're doing from a bigger picture in that area.
One of these days, we're going to have a section in Kleinburg showing the best painting that we have in this country, and VMC showing everything else, and including painting.
Not necessarily just the best paintings, because the McMichael is almost, when we talk about the cultural framework, I understand that there's also some plans for those cultural hubs, not necessarily just in the city center. So I think that McMichael and Kleinburg, they have a great opportunity to create a cultural hub that would actually balance the art throughout the region, not just exclusively to the center of the city. And again, the McMichael has a collection and has the site. And we have several activities, art installations that they are participatory, when people they can come and interact. So we are also a living art space. And that's very similar philosophy to whatever City of Vaughan try to achieve in the center. So I think that there's a certain consistency here, and I'm pretty certain that other cultural hubs will re-emerge eventually.
Well, no question that Michael, Anna, and Samantha are working to bring more arts in Vaughan and the region, and together the three organizations, quite frankly, can make this city, this region, a better place. We will certainly continue this discussion with our other guests, but anyone who has questions, please, there is an email that you can get from this discussion, and you can give us an email and we'll go from there. We will be back shortly. Thank you. Welcome back to Racco's Forum. We will be having the third part of this discussion about arts and business in Vaughan, in the region of York. And David, you work with the city, and the Vaughan Center is a remarkable project that is key to contributing to Vaughan and the region and the GTA, quite frankly, about business and art and culture. What are you doing?
Well, we're doing a variety of different things, and what's really incredible about the VMC in this particular state of time, it's giving the Vaughan residents an actual landing spot to really identify with Vaughan. You know, we've been typically associated with the different areas that made up Vaughan, and as we celebrate our 25th year, we actually are in this interesting scenario where we're creating a new culture where we're enticing people through the senses, through culture, through arts, giving them a place to collectively get together, experience all those different amenities and different opportunities, especially with regards to arts and culture, but it's a great driver to bring people and the community and the masses to those businesses that build up the VMC as well.
And by the way, that was the main reason why that center was contemplated 25 years or so. So it's wonderful that you are promoting this idea. It will make our city a better city. But you know, in addition to the city, Samantha, you also at the regional level, and you also can contribute on this new Vaughan downtown and how the city can inject arts and culture from a city-wide perspective instead of just the VMC.
Absolutely. So. One of the ways in which the city is currently injecting arts and culture citywide is through engaging in Culture Days, which is a national campaign to promote arts and culture and engagement and awareness building within the community, and as well as National Youth Arts Week. So there's several massive activities that the City of Vaughan and other communities in the region are undertaking to really bring that arts and culture experience into all corners of the community. And of
course, anybody who has more idea, better idea, get in touch with the city so we can have much more. But Romina, yes. I see you quite often in many social events in the city. You are what we call the social media, not just from Vaughan, but from the GTA. How are you making our city, our region, our GTA a better place by using social media?
Well, I believe that social media is vital to promote any initiative in our community, because we live in an age where people are basically glued to their phones. And don't quote me on this, but I believe that over 80% of millennials do not leave their home without their phones. And young people spend on average 5 hours a day on social media.
I got to tell you a story. I was at the Four Seasons Hotel a few weeks ago for dinner with my wife. We were celebrating something, and I was amazed how many two people table there was surrounding me, and they were not talking to each other. They were talking on that little BlackBerry or whatever you call it, social media, not to each other, probably to other friends, but they were smiling at each other, but they were talking to somebody else. And that's what social media is doing. How good is it?
Well, I think it has its pros and cons. It's definitely a way to connect, but we can also become very disconnected with it. So I think you need to have that balance. But you know, it's very important for initiatives in our city, whether it's arts, culture, charity, to use social media, because that's how we deliver the message that we need to deliver directly. And it's very, very powerful. And it's also important to support other charities or other arts initiatives and other groups in our community, because what I find happens a lot is, you know, some of these organizations, they go incognito all year, they have their annual event, and then 2 weeks prior to their event, they're on social media and they're blasting their information, hoping that they're going to get some sort of traction and that people will come to their event. But you can't do that. You have to continuously post, which will brand your initiative, and you have to support other people and other groups, because what you give definitely comes back to you.
It'd be better if when those activities take place, for instance, that people like Romina will be there, you know, broadcasting, as you know, all those little activity taking place, so that everybody becomes aware. So next year or the next event, people are really familiar, comfortable, and they may participate more. Wouldn't that be something very positive?
Definitely, and we currently do that now, and sometimes there's several people broadcasting through social media. It could be activity organizers themselves or ambassadors of programs, and that really increases engagement between perhaps artists, let's say, who are participating in a Culture Days activity, and the general public as well.
David, are we leaders in that?
We absolutely are, and what we're doing too is we're taking an innovative approach now as well, because we're also looking at it from an accessibility point of view. Someone that might not be necessarily physically able to go to that experiential event now has an opportunity to view the content, be part of that exchange, that creative exchange. But the great part about it too is it provides people who maybe have missed a particular event or an initiative, it gives them the opportunity to go back, view it, be a part of it, find out more information, and connect back with us. The great part is that there's two-way dialogue. And that two-way dialogue is going to be very important for us moving forward, especially with the city's new focus on a digital strategy to make technology and the ability to connect with the city, its services, and its cultural events a lot easier. And again, moving forward in the future, it'll be more accessible on a much grander scale as well, with the activations we plan on doing in the GTA, in the GTA as well as in the Vaughan Metropolitan Centre as being a leader for smart technologies.
Yeah. Wonderful. I mean, our center will be connected with the GTA because of the subway, so anybody can reach us. How much, I mean, stuff that Romina, for instance, puts on Facebook and so on, that same material, is it in the, with the CD system or not? And if it's not, can we make it happen?
Well, we have different ways of connecting through social media. Of course, we always share content from media contributors as well as people in our community as well. Like, that's the premise of what that social network is based on. And we have to be focused on making sure that dialogue continues and that we are actually sharing and contributing to not only our pages and our content, but others as well, in order to have a greater reach and make people more, I guess you would say, more familiar, and it makes our pieces more accessible as well. They feel that they can come out, enjoy, and break down some of those barriers that they may have.
Terrific. We have had an incredible discussion on these topics today. I'm very pleased, but I hope that the people who are watching us will participate more than they have in the past, so that all of us will make our city a better place for all of us to enjoy. It's a wonderful way of making our life more exciting. I thank you, all of you, and those of you watching us, and until next time, this is Mario Racco.